Welcome to the Sacred Ancestry Podcast, a show about discovering the true human potential. Let's dive deep into physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. I'm your host, Thomas Worm. Who are you not being, and what are you not doing in life? Discover the person you know you could be at mountainmindtricks.com. What if you become the person you know you could be? What would happen if you only had positive thoughts and feelings about your future? What would happen if you didn't have negative emotions or limiting beliefs? Mountain Mind Tricks is specialized in 8-hour sessions that release anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, and anxiety forever. Get 30 years of therapy in 8 hours. All you have to do is go to mountainmindtricks.com, click the Discovery Session button, schedule a time, and fill out the form. Go to mountainmindtricks.com. I discovered this new technology recently. Check out mountainmindtricks.com/EMF protection. Essential Vibes has this resonant frequency wristband which stops EMFs from stressing your body. Because that stress is removed, people are seeing dramatic improvements in pain management, strength, mental clarity, memory, sleep, and a bunch of other things. Go to mountainmindtricks.com/EMF protection and check it out. The first time I saw this, I totally thought it was a scam. But then I put it on. I was able to test my strength and balance and see that it improved significantly. Even my sleep has changed. I was so impressed with this, I had to add this to my business. So go to mountainmindtricks.com/EMF protection. I'm so excited for my guests today, Alan and Cindy Wade and Cindy Preston. And they've been on the show before a couple of times, and they just came out with a new book a couple months ago, Awaken the Magic Within, Triumph Over Trauma. And I actually wrote a chapter in here, and I was so blessed they asked me to. And for people that maybe haven't heard the prior podcast, can you introduce yourselves and, kind of give us a short story of how you got here and what you're doing now?
Hi, my name's Alan Wade.
I'm Cindy Preston.
And we are actually international best-selling authors, NLP master practitioners, certified in MER hypnotherapy. And we are on a mission to help as many people as possible. That's why we write books and we do a lot of training so that we have the tools to be able to help a lot of people.
Yes, and Alan and I have worked in the mental health and addiction field for over 20 years, and we wanted to do more for people, and we decided that the way we could help more people was to write a book, and that started out on our journey. And in that book, we wanted to share some psychological and spiritual practices that we had used to overcome some of our own trauma, and since then we have become certified in the NLP and MER in hypnosis. So we now have added that to our tools to help people, and it's been very wonderful. The outcomes have been absolutely breathtaking and life-changing for people we've worked with. And now we are writing books and having other people join us to share their stories so we can help the world learn that there's hope from healing and overcoming trauma and difficulty in life.
Well said.
Wow, I think we started working together. It's been a while, at least over a year now, maybe longer than that. And we worked with some clients together. We have, I contributed to your book. There's so many exciting things going on, but I really want to talk about this book first. And I was so honored and blessed that you guys asked me to contribute a chapter. And tell me more about where the idea came from and kind of the motivation behind this book and what the book's about.
You know what? Right now there's a lot of fear, anxiety, and anger in the world with this pandemic. And I had this idea, and Cindy and I, we created this whole concept of writing a book and asking people to tell their stories of triumphing over trauma. And, we've all had stuff happen to us. Some have been very traumatic, and I wanted to create this book to inspire people not to give up. That there's always hope. And in my story, I go from the depths of putting a gun in my mouth at 16 because I was lost from the trauma that happened to me to now. I help people to get over trauma. So I thought, tell that story to people so that they see that guy did it. I can do it too. And I was honored that you joined us and 11 other people joined us with amazing stories of how they overcome the loss of their partner that they'd been with for 27 years, separations, broken necks. There was amazing, amazing, inspiring stories in this book to help people to not give up, to see that there's always hope. And every author had at the end a bio that they could put in with their contact information. So if readers resonated with that particular story in the book, they were able to contact that author to, to get to know them better or to possibly work together on someone else's recovery.
Yes.
Wow. And, I just interviewed Evie Shaw a couple days ago. And while I've been reading this book the last couple weeks, it's like every story and every chapter is like so gut wrenching of like, oh my gosh, how did this person go through that? But then there's like right at the bottom, there's like this switch. That person chose something. They chose gratitude. They chose to have this like just one little switch in their mind changed everything. And that's what I love about this book is that it's like this really amazing story and so much inspiration at the end of each chapter.
Yeah, and like like you said, when the book came in and I was privileged to read all of those stories, I'll admit it. A few of those stories brought tears to my eyes because they are powerful. They're personal. The courage of every one of the co-authors to share their story, to be vulnerable to the world, to share a moment in time when they were at their lowest, and then to share, like you said, they made the conscious decision that I'm going to do something different, and they changed their lives. And this is what I wanted people to realize, that there is always hope, and to never ever give up.
Yes. And the thing I find very wonderful is the fact that there's so many authors that have different stories. So a person reading it can relate to pretty well at least one of the authors in the book, which gives hope to them, whatever they're experiencing. Because there's been, there's a lot of stuff in there with different areas of life that people have overcome. And I agree with what you said, Thomas. It's like all of a sudden that person made a decision and they started changing their life, which, is really amazing. The power of the human spirit.
So true, and it's such an amazing thing to I say the word watch, but it's really reading this book, right? You're watching this person's transformation of just absolute agony to like, no, I'm changing. And I think that was the common theme for me. It was like there was this moment of just like, no, I'm saying no to whatever's all the trauma, all the really heartache that's happening. They're just like, no, I'm choosing something different, like the pattern interrupt, right? And that's the beauty of change is that we all have the potential to just say, you know what, I'm going to choose something different. and that's what's so amazing about the work that all three of us do with the master practitioner level of NLP and hypnosis and MER. It's that pattern interrupt. It's that way of saying no, I choose something else. And it's just so easy. And recently I just did a breakthrough session with somebody, and I came away with it feeling like did I just have a breakthrough session? Like I feel different. I feel like I released something, and I'm still processing this, but I think there's so much happening between the two people in the session that it's really profound for the practitioner even.
Yeah, I agree totally because when you work with somebody and they have that moment of realization that you know what it took a second to be traumatized by an event and what a lot of people think is once you've been traumatized it takes a long time to release it and to be free of it but really, with NLP and MER, mental emotional release, the release is virtually just as fast. Like it's you're traumatized. Dr. Joe Dispenza says it. You're traumatized in a second. So why can't you be freed in a second as well? And that is what we love about NLP and MER. When we work with people, it's like you said, they become free, but we also become free of something that we may have not even recognized that we have. It's a beneficial relationship both ways.
Yes, and they also talked about that in our training. How oftentimes you will attract clients with similar issues as you. It's like the universe mirroring back to you stuff you need to work on. So I can see how that can work when you're doing a breakthrough.
Absolutely, and it's just such deep, powerful work, and I'm just so blessed to be part of it with you guys. And I'm curious on what other projects you have coming up. What are you working on? Like, what's going on for your company, the Magic Within, and just tell us everything.
We have two projects that are coming in the new year. The next book in our series is called actually The Calling, and it's answering the call to help others, and it's for people that put themselves out there. Like many first responders aren't recognized for what they've been through and what they do, and social worker, nurses. It's for to give recognition to people that are on a daily basis out there helping other people. And I believe that with this pandemic, we get to see a little bit of difference of the world. And we used to idolize our $1 million sports heroes and stuff, but really, if you really think about it, the real heroes are the people that have worked every day through this pandemic to help other people, firefighters, police, our veterans, ambulance attendants, nurses, social workers, everybody that stepped up because of this. I could look up and say strange time or interesting time, but this is it's a time that no one has been through or none of us have been through. And for all the people that have stepped up and helped, I want this book for them to recognize them, to have them in the spotlight, to say here's my story, a story of how I got into becoming a firefighter or a police officer or a nurse, and the things I went through to get there. And it's yeah we want to promote everybody that's out to help everyone else, volunteers. We want to put them in the spotlight because it's time to shine the light on all of these amazing individuals. So we're hoping that we can do what we did for our first book, attract 10 to 15 authors to share their story with the world and have it out there in the beginning of the new year. But we also got,
Oh, that sounds.
oh, sorry.
Just, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, that does. And uh, it's exciting because the first book came out of an idea that we had and it did very well. And this is another idea to give back. But we also have this online project that we're doing where we're going to create an online course for people to work at their own pace with videos and content. And it's going to be like joining a membership for our family where we work together to help as many people as possible.
Yes, and this makes it affordable for people,
Yes.
so people can do it who don't have as large of a budget to do the expensive breakthrough and the monthly coaching. So it makes it available for them to get that extra help that they can use to make their lives better, to break through barriers in their life, and give them that weekly little, what would the bird be, tool that they can use in their life to create and improve it. So it's very exciting. We're very looking really forward to putting all the stuff we've learned over the years with our 20 years in mental health and addiction, with the NLP and the our spiritual practices as well, the energy work, Reiki, all the stuff that we've learned. We're going to put together in this amazing program to help people empower their lives and to find their own inner magic. And that's pretty well the basis of it.
Wow, I love that so much. It really sounds like a full transformation through, online coursework, and your book that's going to be coming out is just phenomenal. I love the idea of spotlighting the first responders, the nurses, the people in the hospitals, the firefighters and EMS and veterans, and anybody that's alike, that serve people, that are selfless, really. I mean, all the first responders are just out there to help people, get them to the hospital, put out that fire, or, defend the country, or save the entire country from a pandemic, right? Like the medical professionals right now are just really putting themselves at risk. And it's like, thank you. We all need to say as a country, like, thank you so much. And this course that you're building, it just sounds so perfect for the times, because I think, looking forward, I can see how I think mental health is going to become like the number one industry shortly, because I really do feel like we've gone through a global trauma, and we can't say it's like World War II or anything quite like that, but it's like the entire world took a pause for a year, and it like had to reevaluate itself, and it's almost felt like this. The year is only a couple months away from ending, and it feels like a shamanic death, like worldwide, of people, just everybody around me, people, like everybody's having some sort of transformation or some sort of kick in the face, like, hey, you got to change. And I feel like the whole world has had that. And focusing on mental health and bringing it to people at a price that's affordable for everybody, that's just an amazing thing that you're doing. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. And you know what? Cindy's mentioned it a few times. We have over 28 years in the addictions and mental health field, and we support some amazing people that are very disadvantaged now. And we're seeing a lot of other people, their mental health is suffering because of this. And you're right. This is going to be something that we're going to need a lot of people to step up and help these individuals in this pandemic time. I'm looking for a word that would actually really describe this year, and I can't find it. It's just I've watched people, in isolation, and the fear and the anxiety that's going on is to astronomical levels. And yeah, well, Cindy and I want to make it so that they get help. They get help from. We're gonna put in our NLP techniques, laws of attraction, use all of our lived experience, all of our work experience to create a program that's going to help them to get through this.
Yes, it's very exciting. We're working on it now, and after the new year, it will be launched, and it's going to be so exciting. And I just can't wait to show people how to empower themselves. There's so many things that people can do that they don't realize that we can put out to the world to help them empower themselves every day. to improve their life.
Absolutely. And it's really comes down to that choice of saying no and saying yes to something you want to move toward, and I think the book you guys put out recently is just such an amazing example of so many stories of like transformation and the work that you're doing here is it's a major piece of this worldwide transformation that I feel like is going on. And it's so interesting. I really love astrology, and especially this year it's been so interesting to hear the astrologers talk about all these conjunctions and all that whatever, but it's like the energy of this year is just to like bulldoze everything and rebuild. And I think it's such a beautiful time to introduce these concepts, the NLP, the MER, the courses to help people rebuild in such a sustainable way. It's just going to be life changing for anybody that comes in contact with you. I truly believe that.
Thank you. We understand your feeling of this is there is something bigger going on right now, and we're just happy to do our part. And you know what? When we wrote our first book, we didn't have any real great plan 4 or 5 years ago when the first book came out. We just wanted to help people, and now, after all of these books we've done and this one that just came out, we see people benefiting from it. I hear people coming up and thanking us for sharing our stories and getting all of these other amazing people to come and join us to share their stories. And it's like you said, and like I've said, this is a heart wrenching book, and it's inspiring. And that's exactly what Cindy and I have worked for every day: is to inspire others, to empower themselves, to realize that they are all worthy of the life they truly want.
Yes, and I noticed too that from that the book we just put out that you were a part of, Thomas. I noticed a lot of the people, because of their experience, they chose to do what they do now, and it's kind of part of that story as to people who are out there helping. Usually, there's a story behind it, why they do what they do, and I find that so interesting.
So interesting. And I think the next book you're talking about of the stories behind, to highlight the people that are the first responders, the nurses, everybody we've mentioned. Why do you do that? Why do you put yourself out there every day? Like that story is so interesting. I totally agree with you. And I'm so excited for that. And I kind of want to shift gears into like how do these techniques that you use, like what is a breakthrough session? Like I know we've talked about that before, but for folks that don't know what this work is, the NLP, the hypnosis, the MER, like what has the breakthrough session done for your clients, and what have you seen the transformations?
We have had breakthrough sessions. We had a gentleman we worked with months ago that had been off for a long, long period of time. I believe it was almost a decade or something like that. And his doctor had given him anti-anxiety medications and antidepressants for that time, and he was just unable to return to work. And we did a breakthrough session with him, and the results of a breakthrough, just the initial watching someone change right in front of your eyes over Zoom, because it can be done online, what was amazing. He went from being sort of in a shadow to a shining light, and then I find out he's returned to work after, I believe it was about 5 or 6 weeks. He had gone back to work after being off for years, and I was just so proud of him for achieving it, because I had never expected an outcome like that. And we've heard stories like that from many of our our clients that we have worked with, that they've they've said, "My God, how come I didn't know about this 20 years ago? I just locked myself into 20 years of thinking I didn't deserve a life or I wasn't worthy of it. It's amazing. It's like it brings tears to my eyes when I see someone struggling and suffering, and I know I can help them, and for some reason the fear stops them from doing it, and then when they come to us, they look at us, and I've had people say, "Oh my God, you've saved my life," and yeah, it's amazing. It's like breaking through all of the limitations that were put on them because of whatever it was, and freeing them to be who they really want to be.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful to watch the transformation within hours. It's not days or weeks or months. It's hours, and people come in to see us with all kinds of different issues. It could be relationships. It can be health. It can be financial. It can be trauma. So many different things. And when they come in, usually they're sad. They're usually crying. And when they leave, they got a huge smile on their face, and it's like they have a new leash on life. So it is very transformative. And to explain it, it's kind of tricky to explain. But basically, the way I kind of see it is, I was watching a Bruce Lipton video the other day, and he was talking about how people are programming. By the time we're 7 years old, we've been programmed from our childhood, and a lot of that program is unconscious. We don't even know it's there. And then we go throughout our life wondering why we have so many issues with in certain areas. And so that makes me really aware of a lot of the baggage from our past. Is a lot of it's from our young years that we don't even know we're there, and then they're affecting us as adults. So it's not just things that happen to us in our life as adults. Things that could happen like losing a partner or grief, but it's also things that happen when we're very young that we don't even know how it affected us. So it's kind of like letting go of all that baggage and being set free of beliefs that we took on as a young child. We don't even know were there. So I think that's really very powerful.
Yeah, and being able to change the way you look at the world once you go through the process is it's absolutely amazing.
Hmm.
It's so mind blowing, and after I went to Master Prac in July, so not too long ago, and it was just I think all the beliefs I had about the world and about reality were just blown out. I mean, it was just absolutely like this breakthrough session stuff is so powerful, and especially the medical doctor side and the clinical side. There is so much medical potential with this that I truly believe this is the future of medicine. And there was a couple medical doctors sitting next to me in Master Prac, and I just remember one of them leaning over and saying, like, I am so excited to offer my patients anything, anything but medications. Like, I cannot wait to be like, what if we tried this breakthrough session? And that just struck me that a medical doctor is out there somewhere in the United States offering people breakthrough sessions when they're sick. Like, that's going to change everything.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned earlier it seems like there's an awakening going on with the world right now, and you're absolutely right. There is an awakening going on, and people are recognizing that maybe there are better ways. Like Cindy and I have worked in the addictions field doing addictions counseling for years. And the saddest part for me when I was an addictions counselor was watching somebody relive their trauma over and over again till they became desensitized to it. And right now, with this awakening, it's so fulfilling to be able to spend a few hours with somebody and have them release that trauma immediately, effectively, non-evasively, and quickly. It's the awakening has started, and when you have a doctor saying this is what I want to share first, That's absolutely amazing.
It is. It's incredible, and I absolutely agree. I believe that we attach a belief to events in our life that can cause ailments in our body. And through this process, people can heal themselves. It's absolutely mind blowing. I think between that and energy work, I agree, Thomas. I think it's the way of the future for healing people. I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the Greg Bradens and the Bruce Liptons, and really, I would put Dr. Matt in that category as well, of just these people that are innovating, showing that science actually, there's so much science coming right now that shows our thoughts, our emotions can affect our cells, even our DNA. We can change our DNA with our thoughts and our emotions. And so the question is, like, what is really going on, what is really happening. And I think, this whole NLP hypnosis MER stuff, is what's so beautiful about, is that we are tapping into those quantum mechanic ideals of, we can pick a possibility, you can release all the baggage, and then you can pick any possibility you want, and we'll just put it in your timeline, we'll put it out there in the future, and you're going to get it. And that's what's so beautiful about the breakthrough session, is that we're, to me, in a way, we're almost changing somebody's timeline in a way.
Oh
Yes.
yes, we are changing someone's timeline. I've said it many times that everything in the world that has been created by a man or a woman is just somebody's thought. Somebody thought about creating a pyramid. Somebody thought about creating a skyscraper, cars. That is the power of the mind. You think of something and you can create it. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, all of these people are all talking the same thing. Dr. Matt James, our instructor, he allowed us to do a webinar after we did Master Prac, which was a absolute privilege. And he connected an ailment in your shoulder was attached to a negative emotion. A lot of Louise Hay says the same thing, that ailments, illnesses are trapped negative emotions. And imagine how powerful you can be when you can change your thinking and release all of that negativity. And you've heard of the placebo effect. Why does the placebo effect work? Because the mind believes it's going to work. And that is how powerful the mind is.
Absolutely. It not only the mind, the conscious mind, the unconscious mind
Yeah.
is absolutely amazingly powerful. Just from the watching the full catalyps, the body catalyps that
Yeah.
we did at our uh, at the hypnosis training was absolutely mind blowing. It just blew my mind. It made me realize, wow, our unconscious minds are so powerful. So, and that's what all NLP is working with the unconscious mind and
Yeah.
the MER. So it's so exciting.
Yeah, and you mentioned a placebo effect, and there's so many studies out there, like, the amazing, interesting things that happened with schizophrenics and their eyes changing, or, one minute they have diabetes and they change personalities and then they don't. Like, there's all sorts of things specifically with schizophrenia that, like, mainstream science can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
But when we introduce quantum mechanics and some of the NLP things, it's like, well, that makes sense because they are literally changing their DNA while they're this person, and now their DNA is different. And there was one study that even showed that their blood type changed. Like, that is so scientifically mind blowing that it's like, what's actually going on between the mind body energy connection? There's so much more that science is not accounting for right now, but we're so close. And you talk about Dr. Joe Dispenza, and his story of healing his own spine is, I encourage anybody listening, like, just go find Dr. Joe Dispenza and his story of healing his back when he was in the hospital. I mean, it was all mental, and he literally rebuilt his spine just by imagining it. And he walked out of the hospital after the doctors told him like he would never walk again. Um, there's a million stories like that out there right now, and I feel so privileged to be in this industry, to be a mental health professional that's in tune with these ideas that we can change your timeline. We can change like who you are from like who you are now to something that's so much more, because whatever you think you are, you're so much more than that. And I think that's kind of like the foundation of the breakthrough sessions when you say.
Oh yes, I agree. When you say yeah, what we think we are, no, you are so much more. I agree 100% with that.
Yes, and that's why our business is called the magic within,
Yeah.
because so many people don't know how to tap in to their inner magic through all of these amazing techniques, and to tap into who they really are and have that connection is just amazing. And just knowing certain little things that can really change your life, and it's all within us. It's just a lot of times people don't know how to find it or don't know what skills to use. So that's why we named our business the magic within, because it's all within you. It's all, everything is within us. It's not outside of us. And to learn to go in instead of without looking for things. So that's so empowering, and we are so much more than we know we are. And it's wonderful to teach that to people, that they are so much more than they realize.
Yeah, and it's I love the name of your company, The Magic Within, and I love the way you talk about magic, because I think ever since my breakthrough sessions and really getting on this healing journey the last 5 years, I would say it's like I see magic in the world all the time, and I think adults lose that. They lose that magic, as a kid, everything's magical. But I feel like I see magic in the world all the time. These transformations, these people changing their health. I mean, it's magical. It truly is. And I'm curious on, what kind of techniques do you guys use every day on yourselves or support each other? And like, I'm so excited that my partner is going to be going to NLP soon. It's like, yes, like how is being like married to master practitioners, like that's got to be amazing. You probably MER like all the time, right?
Well, you know what? The advantage of us both being the master practitioners are, yeah, we can work together. That, or I'd be calling you to do breakthrough sessions with me. I'd say, Thomas, I need some help with this. But you know what? Part of what I do when I'm coaching people is I use this little the the video of the gorilla where people don't see it. And I do this test where I ask somebody to look around a room and find everything that's green, and I'll give you 10 seconds. And they look around the room, and I can see them, trying to remember everything green. And then I'll go, okay, time's up. And they're just ready to tell me, okay, there's 10 things green. And I'll look up and ask them, tell me everything that's red. And it really upsets them, but it also opens their eyes to the fact that you only see what you're looking for. So if you're looking for magic in the world, it's all over the place. There's great people out there. There's people helping people out there right now. But if you look for everything that's wrong, you're going to find that as well. And that's part of the secret to what we do is we help people to see the world differently by perceiving the world differently, looking at the world differently, looking for the good things in the
Yes, and I know for me, some of the daily things I do is one of them is anchoring. I anchor myself a lot, especially I've anchored myself into a very, very peaceful state. So when I do my meditations, I go in quicker and I stay in the meditation longer in that nice state. But there's just so many different techniques that Alan and I use on a daily basis. We're actually listening to a Audible book right now, and I forget what the name of it is.
world. I believe this one is the ultimate NLP by actually one of the creators, Richard Bandler.
Yeah, and his techniques are very like old, but it's really
Still
interesting.
effective.
They're so effective. It's just they kind of change them a little bit. But we were just doing it yesterday in the truck, and I did one, and within seconds I could feel a shift, and I was like, this stuff is so powerful. So, and that was doing the subnormality change for beliefs,
Yeah.
um, which we have been doing mostly with NER, but it's pretty powerful as well with the subnormality change. So um, we do them pretty well every day, Thomas. We're always doing them and talking about them. And we're actually, when we put out our new program in January, today we were talking about we're both going to do a breakthrough session, mini breakthrough session on each other on finances so that we can kind of get a new fresh start and really take away all that baggage. So when we do that, we're really on the ball with this new program so we can get it out to many people and become successful with it. So we do it a lot. So it'll be wonderful for you and your partner also has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so amazing. And, I anchor myself all the time, like before a podcast, before a coaching client, I'm going to anchor myself. Or, yeah, I do it all the time. If I'm at a really good place in a meditation, like I am just way out there, I'm going to anchor that. And so I can get back there sooner. Like I do the same thing. That's so awesome, Cindy. And, for me, I think I MER myself all the time, or maybe there's
Yeah.
something in the future, and I'll do an anxiety model, and and I think we're getting into language people aren't know what we're talking about, but really, what there's so many techniques that are so fast, and I think the best story ever for this is and I can't remember the exact technique that this person used, and he was a student at TEP, and he was in Florida, and he did one. I think it was a submodality, so he changed somebody's picture about heroin, and it was like this drug addiction, and he changed this person's. He either did a belief submodality or it's just a map across, but he changed this person so much that that person went over to the other heroin addicts and he did it to them. He wasn't even taught NLP. And the next thing you know, all these people aren't addicted to heroin, and the entire town's heroin problem went down like 50% or something like that, to the point where this student got a medal from the mayor from this town saying, I don't know what you did, but you solved their problem. And I think the funniest part is that the cops on the street, they kept hearing uh, the people on the streets talk about, oh yeah, I got off heroin doing SNDs. I was doing SNDs, and the cops were trying to figure out what in the heck is a SND. Well, it's a submodality. It's a submodality map across, right?
Yeah.
And this is a true story. This really happened. And that was one technique in one town. And it's just, this stuff is so powerful. It just blows everything out of the water. Like, I just love NLP so much. I'll talk about it forever.
Yeah. That's when we do our program, our online programming, we're going to be doing giving some free bonuses like creating anchors. We're gonna help people to create an anchor. We're gonna give it to them for free. Let them have access to how to do a ring of anchor, ring of power, and we're going to do other NLP techniques as well. We'll be giving some of them away as free for people to experience the power of the subconscious and the power of NLP.
Yeah, absolutely. I love NLP so much. It's changed my life completely, and it changes my clients' lives completely, just like yours. And um, gosh, we'll talk about it forever. And do you have anything we haven't talked about yet that you want to talk about?
Well, we're kind of like you. We can sit here all day talking about NLP, talking about our next book, the Calling, talking about our online program coming in January. We're just excited to be able to share these tools that we have with people to you know what? I suffered for 17 years in a world of darkness, and I don't want people to suffer like that. I want people to be the shining light that they are. And you know what? I'm grateful to Cindy for introducing me to NLP, and I'm grateful for everything that's happened to me in my life that's put me on this journey to help other people. And I'm truly grateful that we've connected with you and we've worked together for years. It's been a great pleasure and an honor, and I know we'll be working together for many more.
Yes, it's just so
So
exciting.
great. And
Go ahead,
yeah,
Thomas.
it's so exciting. So exciting. I have one question for you guys that I've been thinking about is that I've been feeling like these breakthrough sessions are, and you're Reiki master, so you have a better idea of energy than me. But I feel like it's almost like the breakthrough session is a shamanic practice in a way that it's like using a scalpel to take out the negative energy, because we really are changing the energy field, but we're also changing the neurology. So it's really like mental, emotional, physical. I mean, we're affecting them on all levels for sure. But I'm curious on your thoughts on this, how it's like we're really using a scalpel to really take out the exact problem.
I agree 100%. It completely changes the energy. I've actually had clients, when we've done MER on them, they start to shake um, afterwards, and I credit it to the change in their energies. They've released so much negative energy that it causes them to shake, and some of them have had to ground afterwards because it's like their whole being uh, changes, the transformation of that energetic work. So I believe NER is actually energy work. Absolutely. And I agree with the scalp thing. It's a really great analogy of how that works. And it's a beautiful way for people to change their life without having to go through, as Alan was saying, all that trauma and all the uncomfortable feelings again. So yes, it's I love that analogy, Thomas, and I've actually added to my practice with the last 2 or 3 clients I've worked with that they've actually called back any part of their spirit that left during events that they found traumatic, and it's been very, very amazing the outcome.
Yeah, I have a soul retrieval breakthrough session coming up soon, and I'm really excited because it's going to be so transformational for this person. It's amazing work to add the spices that we have in the other areas, and it's MER is life changing. That's that's it. MER is just life changing.
It is.
We agree totally, and it's a privilege. And you know what? When I watch somebody change right in front of me, I feel such, you know, gratitude for the fact that I was open minded enough to say, let's go try this when Cindy mentioned it. And I'm just grateful that I've met Dr. Matt and experienced the trainings that he's had and this whole family that we're part of. If we have questions, we just go online and ask, and the responses from other master practitioners that may have 10 or 15 years of experience. It's like asking your older brother how to do this or brush up on this, or yeah, it's like being part of an amazing family.
So true, so true. And I think we're starting to bump time a little bit because I have another podcast right after this, and I just want to ask you guys: is there anything else we want to talk about before we close out?
I think we're good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
just
Where can
want to
people find you? Oh, go ahead, Cindy.
I just wanted to thank you, Thomas, for everything you've done for us and all the amazing work we've done together. And we just really, really appreciate you and admire and adore you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that because I adore both of you just as much, and So I love our relationship. It really is a beautiful partnership. All the clients we've helped together, and the writing and everything we've done together has just been beautiful work. And so, where can people find you? Where can they get a hold of you? Where can they get a hold of the book that we're talking about?
The book is on Amazon. It's on Amazon.com. They can also get a hold of us at the Magic Within series at gmail.com or TMW Book Series at gmail.com. Our website is up and running. It is getting a little bit of a revamp for the new online programming, and that would be the Magic Within series.com.
Very nice. Okay. And all those links will be in the show notes. And whoever's listening, please reach out to Alan and Cindy because they will transform your life. I promise you. And yeah, such an amazing podcast. Thank you so much. You can find me at Thomas M. Worm on Facebook. MountainMindTricks.com has everything you got to know. And, Mountain Mind Tricks on Instagram. And I'm just so blessed to be here helping you find your sacred ancestry.